Hi, Terry here. Welcome to another video. I got a confession to make. I'm a prepper, but not in the sense that most people think of when they hear the word prepper. By that, what I mean is I don't believe in the doom and gloom, total global collapse, end of rule of law type scenario that most preppers do believe in. I've heard it called the Road Warrior scenario, and I've also heard it called the Great SHTF scenario. Well, if history is a clue, history shows us that is not going to happen. So if there's anybody watching this who thinks history shows that that is what's going to happen, go back and read some more history. What's actually going to happen is we might be in for some hard times, but it's going to be more of a gentle downward spiral, or what one could call a transition from one state to another through a series of long-term social and political changes that occur over multiple generations. So if I don't believe in the doom and gloom prophesying, end of world, end of days kind of thing, what am I prepping for? Well, emergencies do happen. Real emergencies. I wouldn't bet too much on alien invasions, zombies, or human portabellas, but super volcanic eruptions, major earthquakes, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes. I personally believe it's better to be prepared and never need it than to need it and not have it. See what I'm saying? At least in basic necessities, like just basic supplies, like basic medical supplies, basic water filtration, food, emergency and survival type of food. And that food is what this video is about today. Okay, first, I need to distinguish between emergency food and survival food, which could also be called camp food. This is emergency food, just one example. It is ready to eat. It contains 2,400 calories. You just open it up and eat it. And it's very portable. It's vacuum sealed, has a multiple year lifespan. You could put this in the glove box of a car, truck. You could throw it in a boat. You could put it up in a closet. I keep mine in the freezer. I keep several of these. I keep them in the freezer, get them out as they expire, rotate them around. But by freezing them, you can extend the lifespan by 5 to 10 years, maybe. If you keep it double vacuum sealed and then really frozen. It's made mostly of flour, some flavorings, sugar, packed with vitamins. Tastes terrible in my opinion. I've only been able to find one flavor, apple cinnamon. Yeah, and it's vaguely appley and it's vaguely cinnamony, but you can eat it right out of the package and it will keep you going in an emergency. So by that definition, this is also an MRE. It is a meal ready to eat. Costs about $6. I get mine from Walmart. This is also what one could call survival food or camp food because you can put it in a backpack and you can take it out hiking and backpacking and you could live on this for a couple of days. This is also an MRE. And no, I am not trying to be funny. These are beans with mushrooms, corn, vegetables. I canned up a few days ago, and it is a meal ready to eat. You pop off the top and you start, chowing down. You can also put it in a pot over fire and heat it up if you want to. This is emergency food, and this is also camp food or survival food. It is also portable, but not as portable as this one is. If I drop this, I just pick it up. Well, unless I drop it over a cliff. If I drop this, it's liable to break and I've lost my food. But otherwise, I could live for a day on this easily. About the same amount of calories as in this. This is survival food. This comes packed in a handy reusable tub that after the food's gone, I can use for carrying things around if I need to. And it supplies enough food for 4 people for 48 hours. It is vacuum sealed or dehydrated, but it does require some preparation. So this is not emergency food. It's survival food or camp food because it presupposes the ability and time to build a fire and boil water, okay, which you probably won't have during an emergency. So this is emergency food and camp food. This is what we would eat while we're hunkered down waiting for the hurricane to blow over. This is survival food. This is what we would eat while we're sitting up on the roof of the house if we got a little propane stove or something, waiting for the social services to kick back in. And in addition to being a prepper, I'm also a bit of a DIYer, which does sometimes get me in trouble with the wife, especially when I insist on fixing her car's air conditioning system, which does work finally, by the way. So I also make my own dehydrated survival food. And that's what I'm going to test out today. I'm going to live today on just my Terry's Own dehydrated survival food and give it a fair, impartial, and completely unbiased review. This comes with several caveats. First, I'm only going to eat what you see me eat on camera. Now this comes with several caveats. First, I'm only going to eat what you see me eat on camera. No double quarter pounders with cheese on the side. And I actually did prepare, cook, and dehydrate everything that you're going to see me eat myself. I didn't run out to Walmart, buy some Mountain House camp foods, and put it in a Mylar bag. So let's get started with breakfast. These are Terry's Own powdered eggs. I'm starting with eggs because eggs are among some of the hardest foods to dehydrate so that they rehydrate properly into something that you would actually want to eat. Fake YouTube videos notwithstanding. Think about it for a minute. People have been dehydrating food as a means of preserving it for thousands of years, and yet there's not a single historic account of anybody anywhere ever drying eggs. Maybe there's a reason for that. In fact, a method for dehydrating eggs wasn't actually developed until right before World War II, and it was developed for the military. And it's essentially the same process that's used today and the process that I'm using, or my own version of it. So let's get started on this. Okay, so to get started, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of powdered egg, with 4 tablespoons of water, and stir it up a little. And this will make 2 scrambled eggs. And I'm going to stir this up and then let it sit for a bit, let it rehydrate. And it'll take a couple of minutes to fully absorb. And while that's rehydrating, I'm also going to have some biscuits and gravy. Okay, so the eggs have rehydrated now, pretty much, more or less. Let's fry them up. Well, as you can see, they're not incredibly egg-like, but let's put them over here on a plate. And now let's compare them with 2 regular eggs. Well, as you can see, they don't really look too much alike. Obviously, these are the powdered eggs here, and these are the fresh eggs here. Um, let's look at, see how they taste, though. The powdered eggs, surprisingly, do taste like eggs. There's a little bit of a textural difference, but these don't taste bad. They're egg-like. Not exactly the same as fresh, but still, again, if you're out on the trail, and this is what you got, it's not bad. Okay, so let's move on to the biscuits and gravy. So these are buttermilk biscuits that basically I just bought from Walmart, baked them at home, and then ran them through the dehydrator. And country gravy, instant country gravy that I, again, bought from Walmart. And I just covered them with boiling water and waited for a few minutes. Let's see what they are. Oh yeah, this is good. These are definitely buttermilk biscuits, and the gravy is, again, I'm not going to say it's going to beat grandma's homemade gravy, but when you're in survival mode, oh, you can live on this. And surprisingly, the biscuits are not mushy either, or hard and chewy. They're actually rehydrated very nicely. Hmm. So this with the powdered eggs, or if you really just can't stand powdered eggs, just this, that's a decent breakfast. Good. I'm going to give the buttermilk biscuits and gravy 5 out of 5 stars. And I'm going to give the powdered eggs 4 out of 5 stars. They didn't look real appetizing, and yet they actually tasted pretty good. Um, it's just an appearance kind of thing. The texture, the taste, close your eyes, you may not even know they were powdered eggs, but still, looking at it on the plate, you can tell. So, overall, we'll give breakfast, say, 4 3/4 stars. Time for lunch now. And this is Terry's own Cajun shrimp and rice. And we're going to have a side dish of black-eyed peas and garden vegetables. Let's get started. So to cook these up, I'm going to first take out the extraneous materials. Here I got some Texas Pete hot sauce in case it's needed. And we've got a desiccant, which we don't need, and some salt and pepper, which is probably falling down inside. Anyway, I'll pick them out. But anyway, we got our sauce. And we got our shrimp. Yep, there was one. Okay, and what we do here is we'll just cover this with water. Just enough to cover it. And we'll turn it on, bring it to a boil. A little more. And so our garden peas and vegetables have 4 servings, but I'm only going to make 1. So I'm going to take 1 cup, pour it in here. And again, just enough water to cover it. About like that. And we'll put this on the back burner. So I brought everything up to a boil. See, our shrimp and rice are boiling nicely. And same with our garden vegetables. So I'm going to let those boil for a few minutes, and then we'll turn it off and just let them sit. It's pretty good. The shrimp is a little chewy, but maybe next time I'll boil the shrimp separate and I'll cook them longer. They're eatable though. I mean, they're done. They're just a little on the chewy side. Not fresh, but definitely shrimp. That's good. Very well seasoned. Okay, and here we have the garden vegetables, black-eyed peas with veggies. And on garden vegetables, we got some green beans, carrots, corn, peas. Yeah, I think that's about all. And of course, the black-eyed peas. Mm, okay. That's good. You can see it's really maintained most of the color, and it's got the texture back. It could stand to maybe have boiled for a few more minutes, but that's good. So the vegetables and peas are good. The Cajun shrimp, this is good. So I'm giving lunch a 4.5 because of the shrimp. Boil it a little more later next time. Still, man, I'll tell you what, been out on a camping trip or a hiking trip, you've been walking, hiking all day, especially rough country, especially maybe if it's cold and wet, and you get to sit down for lunch, this around a fire, you're eating good. Okay, dinner time. And today I'm having Terry's own lasagna. Let's cook it up. Okay, so to make this lasagna, we're really going to just open it. Got some meat, which we're going to cook first. Got some Texas Pete sauce. All right, I'm going to put some water in with that. Bring it to a boil. Let that boil for about 5 minutes. I'm back, and it's been about 5 minutes. The meat's been boiling. It's tenderizing up, actually, looking pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to add the rest of the lasagna. Oh, yeah, you want to be sure probably to take that out. Means there's probably some pepper in there somewhere, too, I didn't get. We're going to add just a little more water. Bring that back to a boil. We'll bring that to a boil, let that sit for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll try it out. So, how'd it turn out? Well, oh, come on, no, you can't have any. The Baron von Volk. It doesn't look a lot like lasagna. It's a pasta dish with meat. but the taste is pretty good. This has ground beef in it. And the thing about dehydrating meat is it doesn't like to rehydrate. So, and it's often actually referred to among backpackers as gravel. But a little trick is if you mix breadcrumbs in with it while it's still raw, when you cook it, dehydrate it, and then when you rehydrate it, that breadcrumbs absorbs water and keeps the meat more tender. And that's what I did with this. And these are lasagna noodles, tomato sauce, different cheeses, all dehydrated, added to it. Mm-hmm. Mm. It actually tastes pretty good. Not gravelly, not chewy. That's right. It's a little too hot for you. I'll give you a taste later. It's got to cool down some. So, what is my general impression of Terry's Own dehydrated survival food? Well, I wouldn't say it's commercial quality, but you also want to keep in mind that the dehydrator that I used had two settings, on and off. There are a lot better dehydrators out there that can actually be set for the specific type of food that you're dehydrating and can even sense the amount of moisture remaining and can dehydrate the food to just, perfect condition. But for having a cheap $40 dehydrator, that's pretty good, actually. You'll get some, don't worry. So one thing you want to keep in mind is that I'm not a picky eater by nature. I can eat a lot of foods and enjoy it that other people would spit out and couldn't even swallow. But keeping that aside, breakfast was good. Mm. The biscuits and gravy was perfect. The eggs, oddly enough, had a good texture and tasted like eggs. They just didn't look like fresh eggs. Took a point off for that. On lunch, the Cajun shrimp and rice was actually pretty good. Boiling the shrimp a little longer was actually on me, not on the dehydrated food. So, not going to hold anything off for that. And the garden vegetables were outstanding. And this lasagna is delicious. And it's got real meat in it and a lot of it. A lot of those commercial dehydrated and freeze dried meals, beef stroganoff, right? Yeah, there's a little beef in it, a little. This has got a lot of meat in it. So overall, I'm going to give Terry's Own dehydrated survival food a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Not perfect, but better than average. Stick around on my next videos. Um, got a new chronograph in, so I'm going to be doing some velocity testing between different caliber black powder firearms. To get some ribs and do some more meat target shoots, and got some other things to do. Got to revisit the homemade percussion cap. Mm, mm, mm. So I'm going to finish my dinner. As always, thanks for watching and hope to see you next time. that good? Yeah, that tasty? Mmm, good, huh? Yum, yum. Mmm.